Wasn't very loud, but I could
Good
hear.
with the IFD here. Can you actually have the somebody anchors or something talk with the doctor so that they can kind of communicate with the board? Can you have the anchors talk with the doctor so they can communicate?
You said I need to
with the board?
refresh every so.
No, I just need to so it go live. There you go. Now you'll see them come up here.
Live stream one word or two.
One more.
Doc's mic check, Scotty, 92. 1, 2, 3.
Hey, mic check. Hey, that warehouse fire script is in. Hi, doctor. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing well. How are you?
Thanks for coming in and helping us. Do you see it, John?
Dr. Idell, if you would plant your feet on the ground so you don't struggle.
Sure.
Hey, hi Scotty. This evening we're tackling an issue.
I'm not.
Is that the Walmart thing?
No, that's DACA. So that's loud.
Hey, try it again, Scotty. It is.
So it's not on.
Oh, now, how now?
This is CBS 19 News at 6.
This evening we're tackling an issue that for some might be hard to talk about.
Bullying. It's not just an East Texas problem, a state problem. It is a problem that is impacting families nationwide.
If you don't think it's a problem, listen to this. According to Stomp Out Bullying, 1 out of every 4 teens is actually bullied.
Yeah, out of those students, at least 8% stay home from school because they are afraid of being bullied. The reality is that's 8% too many.
Absolutely. The problem of bullying is hitting close to home for 2 East Texas families. They're sharing their stories after losing their sons. We want to warn you that some of this might not be appropriate for younger children.
For others, we hope it's a lesson that will save lives. CBS 19's Sasha Wilson has our first story.
Kelly Ellis is a nurse, a mother, and the newest member of a growing group no one wants to be a part of.
I'm okay. I mean,
Like so many nurses and mothers,
not really, but
she's trying to be strong.
to be honest, my heart's in a million pieces.
It's a little hard these days. This week, her son Dylan Alvarado committed suicide.
All the bullying at school has been affecting his emotional state.
While he dealt with his own personal struggles, depression and anxiety, she says the bullying just became too much.
He never wanted me to report it because he felt like it would make it worse.
Dylan was a student at Robert E. Lee High School. His mother said he was made fun of daily, so he asked to be homeschooled.
Then it just got to be too much, and then he decided to take his life away.
So now, just days after losing her son, she has a message for others struggling like he did.
Don't be scared to talk to people, and nothing in this world is worth taking your own life. If this will just help save one kid's life, then it would just melt my heart and help bring it back to become whole again.
And this evening, Tyler ISD released a statement. Part of it reads, "We are all saddened by the tragedy of losing one of our own students at Robert E. Lee High School. Grief counselors have been at the campus assisting students and staff as needed and will continue to do so in the days to come." And tonight we are working to keep another death from happening. Child psychiatry expert Richard Idell is here from UT Health Northeast. You can see him live there. He is taking your questions now on the CBS 19 Facebook page. If you're wondering how to tell if your child is being bullied, or even how to talk to them about anything difficult they could be going through, you can log on right now. Richard will be here answering your questions until 7 tonight.
Well, as you head to the Facebook page to share your questions, our next story involves a 14-year-old Bullard student. CBS 19's Brett Vetter shares his story.
Dalton's life affected so many people.
It's a loss Monica Bingham hopes other bullied teens will learn from.
You're not alone, and you don't have to do this alone. There are people willing to listen to you.
Losing her 14-year-old son to suicide 2 weeks ago, Monica says she did everything to protect him.
When I brought the hitting to the school's attention, they were investigating.
And
they didn't really find anything.
Shifting from physical to verbal assaults, she says her son's bullies would find ways to get at him. Things got so bad at one point, school no longer felt like a safe place.
And then it turned into a verbal and a threatening, "I'm going to get you in the bathroom, So Dalton wouldn't go to school.
Despite everything he faced, Monica didn't think the bullying would eventually end with her son dead.
He was full of life. He was playing. We had, I had family over. We had a cookout down by the water. We swam. It was nothing out of the ordinary.
Which is why Monica says more needs to be done at schools to protect kids like Dalton.
And if these kids don't have that person to go to say that they're being bullied or mistreated or they're being mean to me, if the school doesn't know that it's happening, they can't fix it.
Especially when they are too afraid to talk to even their best friends.
I never told him because he wanted to protect him. And that's who Dalton was. He didn't want anybody in trouble, not even the bullies. Because in the back of his mind, they were his friends. Everybody was his friend.
We reached out to Bullard ISD about Dalton being bullied. In response to Dalton's suicide, the superintendent released a statement saying in part, "I can assure you that the faculty and staff go above and beyond to love and care for all students, striving daily to prevent, correct, and intervene on any instances which may be harmful to a student."
Bullying is not just a problem in school, it is happening online. There's a law that just went into effect September 1st in Texas that addresses that. David's Law is named after a San Antonio teen, David Molak, who killed himself after months of bullying via social media. The law requires school districts to include cyberbullying in their district bullying policies and to notify a child's parents if he or she is a victim or suspected of doing the bullying. Well, StopTheBullying.gov is a site aimed at helping to do just that. And here's some advice that you can share with your child if he or she is being bullied. Look at the bully and tell him or her to stop in a calm, clear voice. You can also try to laugh it off. Now, this works best if joking is easy for you. It could catch the kid bullying you off guard.
If speaking up seems too hard or not safe, walk away and stay away. Don't fight back. Find an adult to stop the bullying on the spot. There are things you can do to stay safe in the future, too.
Talk to an adult that you trust. Don't keep your feelings inside. Telling someone that can help you feel less alone. And they can help you make a plan to stop the bullying. Stay away from places where bullying happens and stay near adults and other kids. Most bullying happens when adults are not around. Well, we are learning more tonight about a warehouse fire in Diana that destroyed a family business. Smallwoods Homes spoke out on Facebook saying all of its contents were engulfed in flames. Millions of dollars and new machinery gone. However, work doesn't stop there for them. The business is running out of Smallwoods round the clock at a new place that they are in the meantime to get customers' orders filled.
Hurricane Maria is already blamed for 9 deaths in the Caribbean, and the storm is taking a toll on Puerto Rico. When Maria made landfall, it was a powerful Category 4 hurricane, packing destructive winds and torrential rain. Parts of the island may get 25 inches. This is the strongest storm to hit there in nearly 90 years.
I've passed through hurricanes, but this one, it's going to be very hot.
This region was still rebounding from the last storm, Irma, when Maria rolled in. Power is knocked out across the island tonight. About 7,000 people in Puerto Rico are currently in shelters.
Well, I'm in the Weather Center now with Doc Deason. Any good news for those people in Maria's path at this point?
Yeah, I mean, the good news is the storm's moving out. The bad news is the flooding, the record flooding continues, and that kind of stuff will linger for.
Like Harvey did.
Yeah, like Harvey did, but hopefully not in quite as bad a fashion. Let's look at the weather computer, and we will see movement on Maria. She continues to scoot further away from Puerto Rico. The eye is becoming a little bit more defined here in the last couple of scans, and we'll be watching that top gust at 1:30. Here's what the models shoot this thing out into the Atlantic eventually. Going to keep it away from most of the larger islands and landmasses, which is the best of news for us, or for those folks rather. We'll be back with a look at the 7-day forecast and get you a pretty good rain chance, I think, at us in a minute, guys.
And now to Jose. It has weakened to a tropical storm, but it continues to stir up dangerous surf and rip currents along Long Island and New Jersey shores. In Rhode Island, big waves swept 5 people off a coastal jetty. They were rescued and taken to the hospital.
44 buildings in Mexico City collapsed after a deadly magnitude 7.1 earthquake struck Tuesday. Right now, more than 200 people are dead. At least 25 students and teachers died when an elementary school collapsed. Mexico's president says the biggest priority now is to find people that are still missing.
More corporations are calling on Congress to protect immigrants brought to the U.S. illegally as children. Walmart, Target, and Pepsi are the latest companies to support a replacement for the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals Act. President Trump said so-called dreamers with work permits that expire before March have until next month to renew them for another 2 years. Well, it's a story of community and faith, and it's happening right here in East Texas. Next at 6, the young girl who's bringing the city of Jacksonville together while everyone's praying for Camille.
And some East Texas students are taking class to the farm. We go to the garden with the students at All Saints, how they're using the soil and plants to enrich their education. I didn't.
Right now, we are tackling the issue of bullying on the KYTX CBS 19 Facebook page. Child psychiatry expert Richard Idell is here from UT Health Northeast. You have a question about bullying? He is here to help you tonight. Just jump on our Facebook page right now. New tonight, prayer warriors from around the world are making it their mission to help a girl from Henderson.
She's been through multiple heart surgeries and is facing even more days in the hospital. Tonight, her family is asking for just one thing: prayers.
CBS 19's Lexi Hudson has a look at the power of prayer.
She's the most incredible human being I've ever known.
Her personality it's a light, and she just gives off energy to everyone else around her.
Like her little smile and everything is contagious.
So she was born with heart defects, specifically tetralogy of Fallot, with pulmonary atresia and major aortopulmonary collateral arteries, MAPCAs, and that specifically puts her in a super rare category.
Had her first open heart surgery at 13 days old. She had her second open heart surgery about 9 months after that, 9.5 months after that.
Any way we can help, whether it's fundraising, things that they need personally, prayers.
Prayer chains that have reached Nigeria, Scotland.
That would be the number one thing. They've just constantly asked people to pray.
They know that they've got an enormous group of prayer warriors.
And prayer is, there is absolutely no doubt that prayer is what's gotten Camille to where she is today.
The community is very supportive of their family.
Region 7 people that came in, they were asking me about her.
Pastor from Eastside Baptist here in Jacksonville, the pastor from Bar None Cowboy Church in Henderson. I don't know these people. and they're there praying over my granddaughter and supporting her.
She's used as a vessel for God's love, to show God's love, and that really represents Camille. She's the happiest, most joyful.
We came out on the other side, and again, there's no doubt in my mind that prayer is the only thing that got us there.
That's East Texas, isn't it? The communities of Jacksonville and Henderson, along with people from all over the world, are rallying around this family with support, and you can help with even more prayers for Camille.
Students planted their first crop in Texas's largest learning farm at All Saints Episcopal School in Tyler, and then blessed it today.
For all who care for the earth, the water, and the air, that the riches of your creation may abound from age to age.
More than 100 students in the lower school took turns throughout the day planting leafy vegetables, including arugula, collards, kale, and much more. These crops will later be offered as part of the menu in the Garden of Eden on soup days. But the garden will be much more than that for students and teachers. It is a learning opportunity.
And so a learning farm gives us that authentic experience for our students. They can learn about science, they can learn about math, they can also learn about entrepreneurship through this entire process and do it in a way that actually has relevancy and meaning for them.
And they're like K to 5. Look at all the things they're learning. Awesome. All Saints partnered with micro-family farms on this venture. The students' first harvest is expected in mid to late October.
The Garden of Eden.
Yeah, and I want some of that soup.
Look good. Well, fall is literally like right around the corner, but when's it going to feel like fall?
Yeah, we're going to get an update on your forecast coming up in weather.
All right, weather headlines as we put this thing into motion for at least the latter half of the week. More low clouds and some patchy fog potentially late tonight. That's number one. Above normal temperatures going to continue through the weekend. But there are some signs of changes. The pattern gets moved around a bit middle part of next week, and that's going to mean some cooler air and finally kind of that move back towards where we would hope to be this time of year, which is less humidity and some more pleasant nights. Not a whole lot of rain left on the radar. We do have some spotty showers which continue to hold on, but even this activity down closer to the coast is going to diminish as we lose our daytime heating. Temperatures right now are still plenty warm. We've had a lot of sun across most of the area today, 90 or better at most of all of our sites there, at least along and north of the I-20 corridor. Some departure from that where we had some better shower activity, southeastern counties earlier on, 70s and some 80s. But when you've got that rain-cooled air, you've also got a lot of humidity. All right, the big picture, Maria continues to shove northward and more north and east, going to be less and less of a player for at least the Pacific mainland for a while. We are going to start to turn our attention back off towards West Texas as we get into the first part of next week. You're going to have a lot of rainfall potential across that section of the state, which is good. They need that, and we're going to continue to finally move that stuff into our direction by the middle part of the week when that pattern change starts to happen, and that's also going to signal the beginnings of the cool down. In-house computer model. Tonight we continue to have the clouds pretty sparsely populated out there, but we'll see some additional low clouds move into place towards 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. Southern counties get it first. We'll lose those during the mid to latter part of the morning and then see some scattered shower activity across the area tomorrow afternoon. It'll be kind of like today, although maybe a little bit further to the north with some of these showers. So we'll take some rainfall. It's been kind of dry here since the start of the month or the overnight period. Tomorrow night heading into early on a Friday. Additional low cloud potential, maybe not quite as impressive on that particular front. We will also run some low-end rainfall potential during the afternoon hours on Friday. Here are our temperatures as we take you through the next 12 hours or so. We will run with numbers generally in the 70s for the bulk of the overnight period. Day planner for tomorrow, mostly cloudy early, maybe some fog in a few spots, and then a few showers tomorrow afternoon. Highs again low 90s. Rest of the 7-day forecast has got you with fall again arriving on Friday afternoon. Shower chance, a few of them, far southern counties. 90s through at least Tuesday, and then the cool down starts, guys. So at least some hope at the end of the proverbial tunnel, I guess. Is that how you best to say it?
Thanks, Doc. If he's promising a cool down, I'll take it.
Me too.
Yeah.
Keith joins us now. It's Wednesday, so we have a new player of the week.
Yeah, we've got our first running back of the year and our first player who is not a senior. We'll tell you what he did this past week to earn this honor, and you're going to hear from him in his own words. Coming up next in sports.
Under the Lights, the best of high school football. Powered by Heaton Eye Associates, Ultra Federal Credit Union, Brad Holmes, Hellshay Chevrolet, Dairy Queen, and Global Graphics. It's Under the Lights.
Most of the winners of the American State Bank Player of the Week award are seniors, but the award is open to players in any class. This week's winner ran for 266 yards last week and 4 touchdowns, and that's even more impressive when you find out he's just a sophomore. Ryan Moy introduces us to this week's American State Bank Player of the Week.
Coming off of a freshman campaign where he ran for 1,000 yards and had 5 interceptions, this athlete is back for his sophomore year. And guess what? He's terrorizing teams on both sides of the ball. And he's this week's American State Bank Player of the Week.
Quindarius Johnson, Winona High School, running back and strong safety. Well, first our coaches, he had us practice all through week really hard. And he told us to go out there and fight no matter what and give us it all. And he told them, just play with heart and keep on going and keep on fighting no matter what it comes to. And our offensive line, they did a real good job of blocking. Defense did a good job. Just came out of a big league. We had a bigger heart.
I mean, you play on both sides of the ball. I mean, what's that like?
Well, it gets tiring sometimes. It gets tiring sometimes, but once you got heart, that's when heart supposed to kick in. You can't ever show the enemy that you're weak. So we condition a lot. We run a lot of practice. I still got to keep on going. So, but yeah, it gets tiring sometimes, but I just keep on going. Can't show them that you're weak. I always looked up to Marshawn Lynch. I always looked up to Zeke ever since he was in college. And I was like, I tell Coach every Friday, you're going to see beast mode. So that's what I keep my mindset on. And I've been playing the game since I was 5. My grandpa, he was real strict on always keeping my head up, run, play with heart, and play for your team. Don't be selfish. He was like, so everybody get a piece. He said, don't get mad when you don't get the ball, because at the end of the day, it's still our point. It's not no I scored, I point, none of that. It's we scored together. No matter who scored, we all still got a point. It's 7 for the one on the Wildcats, not a one on the Wildcat. As long as you play together and be disciplined, you can make it far. You can go anywhere.
What's it like to be able to kind of represent this area?
Feels good. I mean, everybody's close and everybody knows you, so it's not like it's a big city like nobody knows you, but it feels good knowing everybody because everybody's close, everybody's your friend.
Coach Kincaid, I mean, how does he invigorate you?
Well, he was an NFL player one time, and I want to be just like him. He wants me to be better. I understand that. I want to do what he did, instead of be better than him. Just one more. Once you get it the first time, you want to do it again. Just like Coach said, once we get a ring, you want to get a second one. You want to get a third one. You want to keep on going. Once you win, you just get greedy. You got to keep winning.
Johnson is our third ASB Player of the Week. We've now had one quarterback, one running back, and one wide receiver this year. You can have a say in who the next 8 winners will be. Nominate anybody you want. CBS19.tv or ASBTX.com and follow the directions. Deadline 8 p.m. Monday. We'll introduce you to the next winner Wednesday at 6. Also on the website, vote for our Game of the Week. It is heated. There are thousands of votes, two games separated by just a couple hundred right now.
Ooh, good. All right. Thanks, Keith. Well, it's time to start planning for the East Texas State Fair, and we are here to help you. CBS 19 has teamed up with the fair for free kids' nights during the 2017 fair season.
Mark your calendar for September 25th through September 27th. That's when kids ages 18 and under can get in free by printing a ticket from our website and taking it to the fair. You need 1 ticket per child, and it's valid for 1 day only. Don't forget, this doesn't include carnival rides. They get you on that one there.
But it will be fun. Thanks for watching CBS 19 News at 6. What's next?
Stay tuned for 19 Now. I'm coming back after the break. Hi, everyone. Welcome to 19 Now, the only place you'll find East Texas news at 6:30 at night. And log on to our KYTX Facebook page so producer Libby and I know what's on your minds. Right now, a lot of people talking about Hurricane Maria. Maria slams Puerto Rico, flooding down trees and destroying homes, covering the island that is now completely without power. A bright spot, an East Texas student finds out her family that weathered the storm is safe. Both stories are coming up. Bullying can be a dirty little secret with deadly consequences.
He was a good boy and very likable, and he had a lot of friends.
Tonight, 2 East Texas families and students at 2 school districts grieving after 2 children took their own lives. A 14-year-old boy with autism detained by officers, and some say their actions crossed the line.
I'm okay. Stay down. I'm okay.
Police body cam video shows the boy being taken to the ground after he was mistaken for a drug addict. Tonight, you decide if he was mistreated. A grandmother with dementia is getting better, one rock at a time. Now people all across the country are showing their support for her by sending painted rocks right to her home. And hey everybody, Rotolo's is in the house. It's a dream come true story for a cook who made her way from the bottom up. She now owns and operates one of the most popular food trucks in East Texas. First, though, we continue to track the tropics. Jose is spinning south of New England, while Maria pummels the island of Puerto Rico. Homes and buildings are destroyed, and tonight no place on the island has any power. The Category 4 monster already blamed for 9 deaths in the Caribbean, destructive winds and torrential rain. Flooding streets, parts of the island may get 25 inches of rain. This is the strongest storm to hit the U.S. territory in nearly 90 years. And Maria hitting close to home. A Tyler Junior College student from Puerto Rico says family members' homes were destroyed last night. And a CBS 19 exclusive, Taylor DeHaze reports the student had been worried sick until now.
Carielli Delgado says she couldn't focus on anything until she knew her family in Caguas, Puerto Rico was safe.
Yesterday was so crazy.
She's a freshman at Tyler Junior College, but her entire family is still in Puerto Rico. She talked with her mom this morning, who says the family is in good health, but her aunt lost everything.
She have to move because her house go away with the hurricane.
Delgado plays volleyball at TJC, saying that's what's keeping her mind off of the disaster back home. Maria hit Puerto Rico as a Category 4 hurricane, taking out power across the entire country. Feeling helpless thousands of miles away, she says she can rest easy knowing her family is safe. Delgado says she hopes to visit her family during Christmas break. Brian, back to you.
Thanks, Taylor. Well, for the latest on the hurricane, we turn right over to this guy, meteorologist Doc Deason. What's it looking like?
It's looking better for Puerto Rico. A lot of flooding there. That's going to be a really more the lingering problem that they're going to have to deal with. Okay, let's look at what we have on the weather computer. Here's the satellite imagery on Maria. Tops still sustained at 110. We're having gusts upwards to 130. The eye of the storm, though, is now moving offshore, and it should stay offshore of the Dominican Republic as well, which is good. And they're going to get a beating on the side of that island, but still, we are thankful that not a direct hit will be made there, and for the most part, the storm should stay over the center of it, generally over water, and you should take it through near Turks and Caicos, and then eventually out into more barren territory. So this becomes more of a fish storm by the time we get into Monday and really Sunday and into the day on Tuesday. Our stuff closer to home here in East Texas. We are very humid and warm for this time of year. We're going to stay there tonight, and we will gradually get ourselves back up closer to 90 tomorrow afternoon, probably low 90s in a lot of spots, Brian, and rain chances scattered. We cool down probably about Wednesday of next week, okay?
Thank you much, Doc. You know, everything's bigger in Texas, including our benefit concert this week. Harvey Can't Mess with Texas is Friday night at 9 p.m. Our parent company, Tegna, has put together a colossal night of entertainment. Huge names are coming out to raise money for our neighbors devastated by Harvey. Willie Nelson, Paul Simon, the great James Taylor, Bonnie Raitt, and many, many more. Well, new tonight, an East Texas family suffering a terrible tragedy after bullying caused a teen student to take his own life less than 72 hours ago. 16-year-old Dylan Alvarado attended Robert E. Lee High School right here in Tyler. His mother, Kelly Ellis, says while he dealt with his personal struggles, depression and anxiety, she says the bullying just became too much. So now, just days after losing her son, she has a message for others struggling like he did.
I want adolescents out there to know that to reach out to their family and friends and church members and neighbors.
She says he didn't want her to report it to the school because he felt like it would become worse. Ellis says if this will just help save one child's life, it would help begin her journey to healing. Another case of bullying tragedies tonight, this time at Bullard Middle School. 14-year-old Dalton Bigham took his own life 2 weeks ago after being relentlessly bullied by his classmates. His mother says she notified the school of the bullying, but that after an investigation, nothing was done to correct the problem. She says Dalton did everything to keep the bullying a secret, even not telling his best friend.
He never told him because he wanted to protect him. And that's who Dalton was. He didn't want anybody in trouble. Not even the bullies, because in the back of his mind, they were his friends. Everybody was his friend.
We reached out to Bullard ISD about Dalton being bullied. In response to the suicide, the school system released a statement saying, in part, we can assure you that the faculty and staff go above and beyond to love and care for all students, striving daily to prevent, correct, and intervene on any instances which may be harmful to a student. The family of a 14-year-old boy with autism claims a cop hurt him after mistaking him for a drug addict. But the Buckeye Police Department is releasing body cam video saying it shows their officer did nothing wrong. Kevin Kennedy from our Phoenix station has the story.
On the edge of town, in this quiet part of Verrado, is a park. This is where Connor Liebel was sitting when a Buckeye police officer approached.
What's going on?
Thinking the 14-year-old was sniffing or inhaling some sort of drug, he asks,
What are you doing? I'm stimming. What?
What Connor said is he's stimming, a calming technique often used by people with autism. But the officer didn't seem to understand and kept moving forward.
Stop walking away from me. It's a stream.
That string is what the officer thought Connor was sniffing. Seconds later, it appears Connor tries to walk away. That's when things escalate.
You have any ID on you? No. Don't go anywhere. All right, just relax. Are you okay? Are you okay? I'm okay. I'm okay.
The teen panicked, the officer holding him down, trying to gain control.
Stop moving. I'm okay. Don't you move, you understand?
At one point, Connor asks if the officer will go away. Still on the ground, his caretaker shows up.
He's fighting with me. What's going on? Do you know him?
The officer is a highly trained drug recognition expert, but when it comes to recognizing autism, he seems confused.
He's doing something with his hands or something in his hands. Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Connor's family appalled at the officer's actions, sharing video of their son when he is stimming.
This is Connor's typical routine.
Also releasing a statement. This is a clear example of inadequate training and supervision as you've ever seen. Buckeye Police concluding the officer's actions were appropriate, continually saying it all happened so fast.
20 seconds is what we're dealing with here. And the officer had to make that split-second decision when the subject began to walk away from him.
The family also sending 12 News pictures of Connor's injuries. What do you think? Was this appropriate? Maybe the better question is the one asked by the caretaker.
You drove by and you saw him stimming and you thought he was on drugs?
A couple of times, yeah.
You don't know anything about autism, huh? No.
Buckeye Police say this will soon change, more training coming, but this case closed, at least in the eyes of the department.
Coming up, producer Libby's favorite story of the day. It's about a grandma in Virginia Beach who's fighting off dementia in a very unique way.
It makes me feel that somebody cares about me.
Painted rocks are giving Granny a whole new leash on life, and how people across the country are helping her out. The inspiring story coming up in 2. Facebook Live. Hey, Doc. How are you? Can you hear me in there?
Hey, yeah, I'm doing well.
This is Dr. Idell, everyone here on Facebook Live. We're talking about bullying today. It was a big subject on our 6 o'clock news problem. Yeah, it is a problem. About our news program, and we're doing it here on 19 Now. I know a few people have asked you some questions. One I saw after the 6 o'clock that I saw that you answered was, is there a specific age when bullying is more prevalent? And kind of talk about your answer there, would you, for me?
Sure. You know, it's really prevalent across all age groups. As high as 1 in 5 kids, maybe more than that, can be bullied. It may start as early as 3 years old. It's hard to know exactly which age is, you know, you see the highest incidence of bullying because it's a hard thing to research, but we see it commonly in adolescence.
I look at bullying, and one of the things you find out, I've said it a couple of times on both programs, these kids are afraid to tell anyone because they're afraid of retribution. How do you convince a young kid to tell on someone who's bullying them without being fearful that it's only going to get worse?
It's extremely difficult, and I think it really takes a concerted effort by both the schools, the family of the person who's doing the bullying, and the child who's being bullied. And it's hard to get everyone on the same page in a situation like this, I think. Ideally, you want to look at the family situation of the person who's doing the bullying and see if there's something that could be done there to decrease the violent behavior or abusive behavior, and try to provide reassurance and have education about the system that's in place at the school to help kids who are being bullied.
All right, Doc, I appreciate it. Folks, if you guys have a question for him, go on Facebook Live. You're probably on right now. Ask him, and we'll talk to you again in the break, Doc.
All right, appreciate it.
Hey, Grandma in Virginia Beach is gaining popularity nationwide for her rock collection. It started when her granddaughter gave her one rock painted like a fish. Now people are leaving rocks on her porch or sending them in the mail on a daily basis. Robert Boyd has her story.
Well, I'm in the home of Marjorie Miles, but around here, she's just known as Granny. And for the last couple of weeks, on almost a daily basis, people have been leaving these decorative painted rocks on her front porch, or in some cases, sending them to her in the mail.
Isn't that pretty?
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
This ladybug rock is the latest decorative chunk of earth to be given to 94-year-old Marjorie Miles. She's running out of room on the coffee table to put them all. There are dozens.
Even though I'm old, it makes me feel that somebody cares about me.
Granny suffers from dementia, so in order to cheer her up, her granddaughter painted a rock for her a few weeks ago.
And everywhere we go, Granny carries the rock with her.
One Facebook post, and the whole neighborhood started leaving painted rocks on her porch. Rocking Granny was born, and she has some moves.
Look around here, Granny.
Now people are sending rocks from all over the country. This package arrived from New Jersey.
Any place in America is wonderful.
The family says Granny's whole attitude has changed. She is something to look forward to every day.
For even just a few minutes, she can zone in and find joy and happiness, and that's what it's all about.
Now that's a fun Granny. All right, great story. It's National Pepperoni Pizza Day, so of course, well, we've got to celebrate, right? Yeah, we've got the Rotolo's Pizzeria, or Pizzeria if you're Tashara. Well, the food truck's here tonight, as well as the owner-operator of the Tyler restaurant, who tells us how she climbed the pizza pie ladder to success. It's coming up next. Mic check. Talk for them.
Hi.
Just, how about you, yeah, that work? That worked. All right. All right, let's go. Hi, Facebook Live. We're going to go back to Dr. Richard Idell. Doc, we were talking about bullying today. We appreciate you being in, first and foremost, to answer some questions for folks. The thing I want to ask you, I know we talked in the last break about a few things. Wasn't bullying supposed to have gone now? Weren't people becoming more and more aware of bullying, and classes were being taken, and people were really stressing an anti-bullying movement? Is that something you're seeing, or is it just as, I'll say prevalent again, just as prevalent as it always has been?
The research would indicate that it's just as prevalent as it's always been. I think awareness may have increased, but figuring out exactly what to do about it is another story. And I think effective interventions for bullying are hard to come by, and it's because it is so prevalent and underreported for numerous reasons that I think it takes a really proactive approach on the part of families, schools, and even the community in terms of educating kids about the consequences of bullying and helping both bullies and those who are being bullied and figuring out ways out of this.
In about 15 seconds worth of time here, Doc, explain David's Law to us and how important that is.
Well, my understanding of David's Law is that schools are responsible legally if bullying is going on and it's not being adequately addressed. And I think that incentivizes schools to,
all right. Thanks, Doc,
to act in these cases.
The Rotolo's truck is big and bright and all over East Texas. Meg Mattis is the owner-operator in Tyler and has quite a story. Welcome to the show, Meg. Now we're on that camera. All right. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having us.
I was telling you earlier before we went on, I just ate at your restaurant 2 days ago, and it is good stuff, man.
It's good to hear.
Fantastic.
I'm glad you like it.
Tell us how you worked your way up the chain to get where you are now.
Well, I started off about 14 and a half years ago at the original location. And
which is where?
In Baton Rouge.
Okay.
Right near LSU. And I was actually going to LSU, and I started being a cook at Rotolo's. And probably about when I graduated from LSU, I asked to sit down with Mitch Rotolo, and I said, Mitch, I want to be a franchisee.
Really?
Yeah. And I was just a bartender at the time, so I don't know how
You had a
serious.
little moxie, didn't you? You had a little gusto to you.
Yeah, and so he's like, all right, you should do this, you should do this, you should do this. And I accomplished those things. And in the meantime, I just moved my way up the chain. And I did every single position in the company until...
Oh, my gosh.
Yep. Until the owners of this Tyler
location. You scrape gum
location...
from underneath the table?
Oh, yeah. I cleaned toilets. I had to clean up throw up sometimes.
Well, your husband, Brian, is out in the truck preparing pizza. How did you guys land in Tyler? How'd you end up here?
Well, the franchisees that opened this store didn't really want to be involved in running a restaurant. Sometimes it can be tough, so we jumped at the opportunity, and I just wanted to come out here. So my husband and I sold our home, moved out to Tyler, and we've been here since March.
Well, since March. Well, welcome to Tyler.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about the menu. As I told you, I'm a regular, but tell our folks about the menu.
Well, we have pizzas, calzones, salads, pastas. I mean, we just have a really wide variety
My
of
3-year-old
wraps.
loves the ice cream, too. She had no idea.
Ice cream.
She said to me the other day, she goes, Daddy, you got to be kidding me. They have ice cream.
And you should tell her to get the cookie. It's like this 8-inch cookie with ice cream on top. And
I'm not telling her any of this. You realize that, right? All right. Well, let's head out so we can show what it takes to run a food truck. We're going to roll out to Rotolo's. See you back after the break. 2 minutes or so.
You doing? I see you throwing looks my way. Oh boy, don't be so shy. No need to play these silly games. I'm the type of girl who's gonna speak my mind. I've been hurt before, don't wanna waste our time. Haven't been the same since the day we met. This may be insane, but I'm just gonna say it. I think I like you. on my heart. Oh boy, this could be the day a happy ever after starts. Then you take my hand, my heart skips a beat, my head is spinning.
Let me grab the mic a second. Okay. Little delay in my ear, remember, guys, so I can hear myself, but we should be good.
Waiting to hear, I think I like you. I think I like you. I think I like you. I think I'm in love.
All right, hi everyone, back out here in the parking lot at CBS 19, actually inside the Rotolo's Pizzeria food truck. This thing's a monster, Meg, an absolute monster.
Yeah.
Plenty of room to walk around in this thing.
You should try driving it.
No thanks, no thanks. I've driven U-Hauls before, I don't need to drive this. But take us through the process a little bit.
Okay. So, like to make a pizza, we first sauce it, and then we'll throw on some cheese.
Okay, got the...
Toppings, and then just go
Well, it's
right
National Pepperoni Pizza Day, so that makes sense.
Make a pepperoni pizza, and then you just throw it in the oven, and it comes out the other side.
How long does it take from the time you put it on that rack to the time it gets through?
About 5 minutes.
5 minutes. So you got a tasty pizza done in like 5 minutes.
That's right. Here we go.
Oh my gosh.
Right there.
And now we just kind of sit and wait.
Yep.
Well, while we're waiting, I want to talk about the Popeye. Okay. So that's my favorite pizza at Rotolo's, and you have an interesting history with the Popeye.
Yep, so when I worked at Rotolo's and I was the director of operations, I did a lot of the menu and research and development, and so I created the Popeye.
You created my favorite pizza.
That's right.
Oh my, you're like my hero right now.
It's one of my favorite pizzas as well.
And it's all vegetarian too. That's the best part.
Yep, it's got fresh spinach. That's where it gets its name, Popeye, and it's olive oil based because Popeye loves olive oil. And then roasted red peppers, roasted garlic, red onions, and feta. I mean, you just can't go wrong with those toppings.
Absolutely. How often do you get the truck? I know it's a corporately owned kind of thing, so you have to request it.
Yeah, so we request it when we have certain things. So I've requested it through the end of November, and so I've got it through the end of November, and then I believe it's going to Dallas and maybe to Longview. And so I'm going to hopefully get it back in March for the chili cook-off.
So what are you using it for through November?
Tons of events. So like yesterday we were on TJC's campus, and we go to ETX Brewery all the time, True Vine. We go to, we did a soccer game at UT, so we're all over the place.
Is there anywhere where people can find you where they can go online and say, oh, I'm hungry for Rotolo's, I'm going to hit up the food truck?
Yeah, just follow us on Facebook and we'll mention where we are, and so you can find out where we are from there.
Well, Jason, let's see if that pizza's coming out yet, and when we'll get Meg's husband Brian in here too while we're at it. Got to watch the light on the camera, Jason. We're in a big food truck here, but there's still like big parts. As you can see, as Meg said, it takes about 5 minutes to go through, and Brian's got the tongs ready to go. And I'm ready to eat this thing, I know that's for sure. And there's a sandwich over there as well, so that's pretty cool. Well, we want to thank you guys for being here. Awesome, and we're gonna find you out and about one of these days too, probably at a soccer game from what you said. Yeah. All right. Well, that's Meg, that's Brian. This is Rotolo's Pizzeria, a food truck. We're gonna take a break and be back and talk East Texas State Fair and how kids can get in free after the break.
3,000 miles from Portland to Portland. Now and then I think of you, but in the end, that's all. You know I drive the distance. Portland to Portland, I'm so over keeping this going. You think we're soulmates, and I think we're through. I'm down in deep water and don't have a clue. We're swimming in two separate oceans, 3,000 miles from Portland to Portland.
Hey, Doctor, are you with us? Hi, Facebook Live. You still with us?
Yeah. Yes, I am.
We got just about a minute to go before we're back on the air here, but I wanted to see if there's anything else that you just want to add to the whole conversation we've been having for the past hour on bullying and what people can do.
I think just encouraging kids and adults to speak openly about any depression, anxiety, or bullying that may be going on. Talking through the stress oftentimes can be very helpful at both the family level and school level.
Dr. Idell, we appreciate you coming in. We appreciate you taking time out of your schedule. And I know the people that have been watching on Facebook Live and asking questions, they love that you did this. Thank you so much for doing it.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure.
Coming up tonight on CBS 19 News at 10, we continue celebrating National Pepperoni Pizza Day. All right, we're introducing you to some East Texas pizza makers who take their product way, way serious. We'll hear from local artisans who take their pies to the limit, sky high. You might call it the ultimate office, a workplace where you can get massages, take a nap, and eat breakfast and lunch for free. It's Google's office in Austin. See why it's consistently ranked the #1 place to work, coming up tonight at 10. Now, don't forget to vote for this week's high school football game of the week. Here are your nominees: Lee hosting Rockwall Heath, Palestine heading north to Van, or the battle between Malakoff and Grace. Go to cbs19.tv and vote. Keith Leventhal will announce the winner Thursday night during the 10 o'clock sportscast. Can't wait. The East Texas State Fair opens Friday, and we're, pretty pumped. CBS 19 is teaming up with the fair for Free Kids Night. This Friday, we'll be live from the fair. Then next Monday through Wednesday, visitors 18 and under can get in free just by presenting a printed ticket. One person per ticket and valid for 1 day only admission. We are going to have some fun. Don't miss out. East Texas State Fair coverage begins on opening day. Well, Producer Libby says that's a wrap. I've been outside. I've been on Facebook Live. I'm exhausted. Producer Libby says that's a wrap. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. Remember, be the good. Same time, same 19 Now place.